Hey, good evening, Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for October 31st, 2024. Happy Halloween. Happy birthday to my brother Joe. Uncle Buck up in northern Michigan enjoying a well-deserved peace and tranquility. Really happy for him. I'm proud of him. Love him much. Good man. All right, let's move to our some sniper trades of the day. This is Palantir on 3 minutes. Here's yesterday's close. It's a focus stock, so I'm always watching it. There's a big gap down, and there's your OR3. So in the fourth bar, it breaks down. That should be a red. That should be a red dot because we are short at that point. It's colorblind, I guess. And we're going to cover, that should be your green dot. So that is short. Oops. What are we doing here? Sorry. That should be red. That should be green. That gets right from in the opening 30 minutes, about 2R. That should be red. So we get re-short. That should be green. 1, 2, 3 cover. Caught a 2 re-entry, aiming for the VWAP. Almost, but it comes back to the Bollinger Band mean, so we exit there, and that's it for the day. So that's about 2, 3, 3.5 on Palantir. All right, this is international paper. A special fondness for this one in my heart. Here's yesterday's close. Huge gap up, enormous gap up. And the gap up was to here. This is my normal R5. It moved to R5s. So, in other words, 40% of a range stat. And that means there's still another 3 more of those risk boxes to the top. So, just hold my nose and go. Now, the reason behind this one is that the rest of the market was getting slaughtered at the big gap down, but this was bucking the trend. So there was a lot of people directly buying international paper. So that divergence of price action was enough. It runs up to the top. There's a 1, 2, 3. So I'm already stalking the exit. There's no way I'm going to let that go lower than the VWAP. And there's your VWAP right there. So there's no way I'm letting that price come back to here. So I'm just going to put my stop there no matter what. Now you could decide, do I want to go here or here or here? You decide. The argument for this one is that it's already had a 1, 2, 3 and then reversed back up to here. So if this doesn't make a new high and starts to come back down, that's a pretty good stop. This one splits the difference on the previous bar's low. So any one of those 3 is reasonable. So while you're listening to this, make your decision and let's see what happens. I end up getting out around 3 anyway. It had a little bit more of a tactical move to the upside. but then rolls over. And I gave it as much room as I could. But when the R10 comes through the dragon, then it's over. And it's already, price has already hit the PSAR. This thing is already PSAR flipped. So if anything, I was a couple bars late. I should have been out here. So on if you use the double scoop of risk, then that was about 1.5. If you watched it move up 2, entered, and then used just one standard risk box, then you were able to collect about 3. So your call. I used a double risk box because the rest of the market was melting and I was concerned. I think that's all we did with it because the rest of the market was melting, and that's where the easier money was. There was more buying pressure in this later in the afternoon, but this is going to be one to watch for tomorrow on a follow through basis. Okay. Oh, I've already seen Palantir, sorry. And this one is Diamonds. This is DIA. So this one was tough at the open. So another one of these big gap downs. There's your OR3. Next bar reverses higher. So the yellow box is my standard risk. So I'm long from here. And my risk box is this one. Right. So my initial stop is there. There's no way I'm really going to let it go past that anyway, but that's what the full up risk box looks like. That fails. So there were a couple bars in my favor, and then it collapsed along with the rest of the market. So I'm going to hit that one for a minus 0.5, maybe 0.6. And then I'm going to stop and reverse because I feel like the whole market is melting. This starts off down, but now it reverses. So I take another half-hour loss. This one, I stop and reverse to go long. It gives me another half-hour loss. So I get short on that one. So now I'm down a half, and a half. I'm at minus 1.5. And I've had 3 losing trades in a row. But now we're short with our standard risk. Rejects the VWAP. And out of this, we get about 1.5 hours. We're back to even. SSC, this would have been an SSC. I treated this as a delayed SSC or a COTA 2. But once it got across the dragon and held, I just stayed with it. That gets about 1R. And that was enough. So we ended up about +1 for the day. This fourth trade paid for the first 3, and then this one gave us about 1. All right, let's shift to the traders. All righty, let's start with 2930. Yeah, this is Jonathan. Yeah. So a couple days ago, he's grinding his way through the YM. I think we covered this one. There wasn't much room for him, but he played it pretty close to the vest. Did a nice job. 2 days ago, he gets the 123 OR3 entry, crushes it, cuts this one quick, nets 3R for the day. Yesterday, this is the 30th. Yeah. He gets 0.82. He gets a breakout cuts it quick, caught a 2 reentry, nails it for 2.56, and then a couple grinders where he gives back 1R. Was not in the zero state, so he couldn't get the second and third moves. And then let's see, today. Yeah, I think, oh, that was, I think, for today. Yeah. And so that's where he is. Let's shift to the daily report. We're just a couple days away from the, the election of the century, and with the and that'll be the return of volatility, which I think we began to see today. So I'm glad to have no overnight risk and taking advantage of the intraday volatility. The 150-day look back. What we want to notice here was 150-day low, leg one, pause, and then 3 legs up. And now we get this rounding off at the all-time high. Today's little price action was the big gap down and that big directional sell-off. So we're right at support, which makes this a zero state ready to go back to the 10-day high. We're already at the 30-day low. So the next target down would be 550. So there's a strong move in either direction happening tomorrow. It's going to be fireworks. Optimal intraday trading. And you can see just in the context of today, this is everybody bailing. This was like 10 days in here trying to get one more burst, nothing. Today, gaps down, smashing sell-off that ends at the low. So it's lost all of the goodness from this grind is all gone in one day. And now we're back to this support level. If that breaks, we get through the 30-day low, and then it's down to 550. And then the election happens. Holy smokes. Good day to be a volatility trader. That's your 30-minute. Well, still bullish normal, long-term strong, but short-term getting smashed at a lot of pullbacks and buy on dips, but I would not take those until we get through the election. You can see we've come all the way back to the bottom of the river, and volatility just hooked to the downside, and that is problematic for the next 2 to 3 days. That thing rolled over, and now it's looking for this. If we get a move to 550, you'll see volatility come down here too. So don't be swing trading. Broad weakness, tons of auto framers setting up, but again, wait for the election. Broad weakness in the ETFs, wait for the election. And that's basically what I want to say for tomorrow. Wait for the election. Take some advantage of some nice auto framers for intraday trades. Like I'm going to be looking at IP, Palantir, and Tesla tomorrow. Not a sign of strength anywhere except a wee bit of U.S. steel and international paper. So let's play this one close to the vest tomorrow. Stay with the indexes. Bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush tomorrow. Don't carry any risk over the weekend. All right, we'll catch you tomorrow. Ken at Tortoise Capital. Take good care.